Good morning, students. Good morning to all. And last day we have studied about the international trade and the foreign direct investment, the advantages and the disadvantages of the foreign direct investment. And on that day itself, that seventh lesson has over. So today we will go to the next lesson. So next lesson, the international economic organizations. So in the previous chapter, we have studied the basis of trade, gains from trade, terms of trade, and the balance of payment and the foreign exchange. But one thing we have to know, when trade takes place among countries, the developed countries also stand to gain, the lower divisions countries suffer from adverse terms of trade as well as the adverse balance of payment, and they affect their exchange rate. So the Great Depression of 1930s and the World War II led to purely nationalistic policies in which almost every country imposed trade restrictions, exchange controls, and exchange depreciations so as to boost export and restrict imports considerably. Because as I said already, all the nations will be increase the export only. Because of that, most of the nations are bringing the different type of the restriction to increasing the export and increasing the imports and decreasing the exports. So the Bretton Woods Conference proposed International Monetary Fund. So when all the nations are going to involve in this international trade, they must will be in the need of having sufficient level of the foreign currencies. So different type of the organizations also was appeared after the Bretton Woods Conference. So the Bretton Woods Conference only proposed the International Monetary Fund, World Bank and International Trade Organizations in 1944. So the International Monetary Fund and World Bank were started in 1945 first. Instead of international trade organizations, an interim arrangement was made and named the GATT, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. The GATT was transformed into World Trade Organization from 1995. The International Monetary Fund, the International IBRD, and the World Trade Organization's headquarters are presented in the Washington and Geneva. The International Monetary Fund was proposed in 1945. Its headquarters is located in Washington. So the World Bank also created in 1945 and their headquarters also located in same Washington. After that, the 1995 only the World Trade Organization was appeared and its headquarters is located at the Geneva. First, we will study about the International Monetary Fund. So the purpose of International Monetary Fund is to secure and promote economic and financial cooperation among member countries. So mostly 197 countries are being as a membership in International Monetary Fund. And this International Monetary Fund, this organization also proposed to secure and promote the economic and financial cooperations, because all the nations are have to being the cooperations when they are involving in this international trade. So when they are having the dealing with another nations, all the nations must be having the foreign exchange, and all the nations also will be having the eagerness to increasing their export and maintaining the international trade. So all the nations are joined together and created the International Monetary Fund. The International Monetary Fund was established to assist the member nations to tide over the balance of payments disequilibrium in the short term. So mostly the short period, all the nations will have the foreign exchange problems, disequilibriums. Already we have studied, the foreign payment, the balance of payment disequilibrium. So by reducing or eliminating the balance of payment disequilibrium in the short run. So it created the IMF. So at the present, the IMF has 180 member countries with the Republic of Nehru joint. Next, the objectives of International Monetary Fund. So the International Monetary Fund is shortly called as a IMF. So this IMF also has some of the objectives. So what are the objectives are there means first the promote the international cooperations. The IMF as one of the objective to promote the international monetary cooperations among the member nations. So whenever the nations are having the need of more foreign currencies, the International Monetary Fund will be creating some of the cooperations among their member nations. Next, to facilitate the faster and balanced growth of international trade. Faster and balanced growth will be possible in this international trade. Only all the nations will have the favorable balance of payment and favorable balance of trade only. So the International Monetary Fund will creating the facilitate to faster and balanced growth by providing the more financial facilities among their member nations. Next, to ensure exchange rate stability by curbing competitive exchange depreciations. So the International Monetary Fund also creating the or reducing the competitive exchange depreciations. So when the IMF going to reducing the exchange or competitive exchange depreciations, so we can get the ensure the exchange rate stability. Next, to eliminate or reduce the exchange controls imposed by member nations. So most of the nations are having some of the restrictions to reducing the impost. So this IMF will be eliminate or reducing the exchange control. So some of the controls are there to importing some different type of the commodities. It will be eliminate all the problems. Next, to establish multilateral trade and payment system in respect of current transaction instead of bilateral trade agreements. So instead of bilateral trade agreement, the IMF also established the multilateral trade and payment system. Next, to promote the flow of capital from developed to developing nations. So all the capitals and the factors of productions and some of the money also will be transferred from one nation to another one of the nations. Next, to solve the problem of international liquidity. So in this international trade, all the nations also have to being in some amount of the money as a liquidity. So here some of the problem may be arised. So the IMF will be solve the problem of international liquidity. Next is the functions of International Monetary Fund. What are the functions are there in this monetary fund mean? First, the International Monetary Fund will bringing the ability in exchange rate. The International Monetary Fund is maintaining the exchange rate stability and emphasizing devaluation criteria. So restricting members to go in for the multiple exchange rate and also to buy or sell gold at prices other than declared par value. So every nations may have some of the par value. Par value means the face value. Any of the base value will be there. So on the basis of the face value, so it will be creating the ability in exchange rate. So whenever the nations are going to devalue their currencies, it will be stopped by the International Monetary Fund. Next, correcting balance of payment disequilibrium. So all the nations will have some of the balance of payment disequilibrium in some of the way. But all the nations also have to take more effort to decreasing the balance of payment disequilibrium. So on behalf of the separate other nations, the International Monetary Fund will be taking some of the action to correcting the balance of payment disequilibrium. So the International Monetary Fund is helping the member countries in eliminating or minimizing the short period disequilibrium in their balance of payments, either by selling or lending foreign currencies to the member nations. Suppose the International Monetary Fund will be providing the sufficient level of the foreign currency whichever nations are being in the need of having the other foreign currencies. Suppose it will be providing as a help, otherwise it will be selling or lending the foreign currencies to the member nations. When the International Monetary Fund is going to provide more foreign currencies to their member nations, all the nations also will have some of the possibilities or some of the ability to maintaining or correcting the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, determining the par values. The International Monetary Fund enforces the system of determination of bar value of the currencies of the member countries. So every nations also will have some of the value of their currencies. The value of currencies also have to determined by the International Monetary Fund. So these organizations also has one of the most important power to fixing the par value of the currency of every nations. So according to the articles of agreement of the International Monetary Fund, every member nations should declare the par value of its currency in terms of gold or US dollars. So under this article, the International Monetary Fund ensures smooth working of the international monetary systems in favor of some developed countries. So mostly the International Monetary Fund declared the par value of the currency in terms of gold or US dollars only, because the demand for the US dollars only may have the higher. So on the basis of the gold or the American dollar only, so it will be fixing or determining the par value of currency of every nations. Next, balancing demand and supply of currencies. So International Monetary Fund is entrusted with the important functions of maintaining balance between demand and supply of various currencies. So normally in our world, all the nations are involving in this international trade. The demand for one currencies may be increased and otherwise it will be decreased. So on the basis of the demand for commodity only, the demand for the currency values also may be increased. So the International Monetary Fund balancing the demand and supply of all the currencies, all the nations' currencies. So the fund can declare a currency as a scarce currency which is in great demand, and it can increase its supply by borrowing it from the country concerned or by purchasing the same currency in exchange of gold. So whenever the nations are having more need of other foreign currencies, the International Monetary Fund will be providing it. So otherwise it will be purchasing from one nations and it will be given to the needed nations. Next, reducing trade restrictions. Already we have studied more trade restrictions are created by the more nations. But what are the countries are having the more restrictions to involve in this international trade? The International Monetary Fund will be interfere and it will be eliminate the trade restrictions. The IMF also aims at reducing the tariffs and other trade barriers imposed by the member countries with the purpose of removing the restrictions and remittance of funds or to avoid discriminating practices. Some of the nations may have the discriminating practices, and because of that some of the barriers or some of the problems will be arised in this international trade. But the International Monetary Fund aims to reduce the tariff and other trade barriers by some of the actions. Next, providing credit facilities. So it is the one of the most important functions of the IMF. So the IMF is providing different borrowing and credit facilities with the objective of helping the member countries. Already we know all the nations are having the need of other foreign currencies, but we will never know whenever we want to, whenever we have the demand or whenever we have the need of other foreign currencies, because the trade also will be take place on the basis of the demand, but we will never know whenever the demand will be created in other nations and domestic nations also. So these credit facilities offered by it include basic credit facilities, extended fund facilities for a period of the 3 years, compensatory financing facilities and structural adjustment facilities. So three types or four types of the facilities also provided by the IMF. So first, the functional of the International Monetary Fund are grouped under the three heads. First one, financial. So assistance to correct short-term and medium-term deficit in balance of payment. By reducing the problem in this balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, regulatory. So code of conduct also will be created by the International Monetary Fund and it will be declared to all the nations. Next, consultative. The counseling and the technical consultancy services also will be provided by the International Monetary Funds. And what are the facilities? And some of the facilities also offered by a International Monetary Fund. So it has one of the most important functions is providing the financial services or financial assist. So even though this fund has created several new credit facilities for its member nations. So some of the facilities is basic credit facilities. The International Monetary Fund provides the financial assistance to its member nations to overcome their temporary difficulties relating to balance of payment. So all the nations will have one of the problem, the temporary difficulties problem relating to the balance of payment. So if the nations without having the balance of payment problem, it will increasing their export. But all the nations will meet this type of the problems. And the member nations can purchase. The member nations can purchase from the fund other currencies or special drawing rights in exchange for its own currency. So the loan is repaid when the member repurchase its own currencies with other currencies or special drawing rights. A member can unconditionally borrow from the fund in a year equal to 25% of its quota. A quota means every nations also have to pay some of the subscription amount of money. So these nations, all the nations also will have some of the power to borrowing the money from the International Monetary Fund. But even though the IMF also providing some of the facilities to borrowing the extra 25 percentage of the amount from the IMF. This unconditional borrowing right is called the reserve tranche. Next, extended fund facility. So under this arrangement, the International Monetary Fund provides additional borrowing facilities up to 140% of the members' quota over and above the basic credit facilities. So beyond the basic credit facilities, this IMF allows the member nations to borrowing the money above 140% of their members' quotas. The extended facility is limited for a period up to 3 years and the rate of interest also will be very low. Next, compensatory financing facility. In 1963, the International Monetary Fund established compensatory financing facilities to provide additional financing assistance to the member countries, particularly the primary producing countries facing shortfall in export earnings. The primary producing countries means suppose if any of the nations started the export or the production of the primary sectors, it will be facing the financial problem. So in 1981, the coverage of the compensated financing facility was extended to payment problem caused by the fluctuations in the cost of cereal inputs. Some of the compensatory facilities also provided by the International Monetary Fund to their member nations. So according to these actions, so all the nations also will have the power to compensate their loss in this international trade. So when the International Monetary Fund allow the facilities, so all the nations will have some of the rights and some of the powers. Next, buffer stock facility. The buffer stock financing facility was started in 1969. The purpose of this scheme was to help the primary goods producing countries to finance contributions to buffer stock arrangement for the stabilization of primary product prices. The buffer stock facility is also one of the facilities provided by the International Monetary Fund. So all the nations will never producing the primary sector product, but some of the nations only will producing the primary sectors, the rice and the paddy and some of the cereals. But if they not having the warehousing or the protecting facilities means, it will be providing the facilities also. Next, supplementary financing facilities. So under the supplementary financing facilities, the International Monetary Fund makes temporary arrangements to provide supplementary financial assistance to member countries. So because of that, it will be facing the payments problem relating to their present quota size. So the supplementary financing means even after paying the quota, so after borrowing the amount from the quota, so the nations, member nations will have the rights to borrowing the additional finance. Next is structural adjustment facility. So International Monetary Fund established the structural adjustment facilities in March 1986 to provide additional balance of payments assistance on concessional terms to the poorer member countries. In December 1987, the International Monetary Fund enhanced the structural adjustment facilities. It was set up to augment the availability of concessional resources to low-income countries. The purpose of structural adjustment facilities and enhanced structural adjustment facilities is to force the poor countries to undertake the strong macroeconomic activities and structural programs to improve their balance of payment positions and promote the economic growth. So the two type of the arrangement also will be helpful to all the member countries. Next, achievement of IMF. So what are the achievement is achieved by the International Monetary Fund mean? First, the establishment of monetary reserve functions. The establishment of monetary reserve fund. The IMF has played a major role in achieving the sizable stock of the national currencies of different countries. To meet the foreign exchange requirements of the member nations, International Monetary Fund uses its stock to help the member nations to meet foreign exchange requirements. So it created the Monetary Reserve Fund. The International Monetary Fund also created the Monetary Reserve Fund. Monetary Reserve Fund means it has the more stock of currencies, more stock of all nations' currencies. And whenever the nations are being in the need of foreign currencies, the International Monetary Fund will be providing. Next, monetary discipline and cooperations. The International Monetary Fund has shown keen interest to maintaining the monetary discipline and cooperation among the member countries. To achieve this objective, it has provided assistance only to those countries which make sincere efforts to solve their problems. So, without having any of the problems or without taking any of the effort when they are being in the problems, the International Monetary Fund will not be providing the reasonable facilities. But when the nations are taking some of the effort with the disciplinary actions to solve their problem, the International Monetary Fund will be providing their facilities. Next, special interest in the problem of underdeveloped countries. The notable success of the fund is the maintenance of special interest in the acute problem of developing countries. The fund has provided financial assistance to solve the balance of payment problems of underdeveloping countries. However, many underdeveloping countries continue to be underdeveloped countries, while the developed countries have achieved substantial growth. So, when all the developed nations are going to increase their export or in this international trade, the IMF only will be focusing to providing the more financial assistance to the underdeveloping countries only. Okay, students, today I think it's enough. If you have any doubt, please ask me. It's very easy only, so there is no need to explaining more. When you are read yourself, you can easily understand, and just you can take the same portions, the facilities offered by International Monetary Fund as your study portions. Thank you.